Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Today I have this article here. It's a very, very short article, right? And as we read the title, it says Lockheed Martin, which we know Lockheed Martin, is pretty much the engineering company, behind the U.S., right? Especially when it comes to military wise. So that's where they pretty much have their advanced technology coming from, right? These nukes and so on and so forth. Lockheed Martin teases magical classified project that will be game changing. All right, magical, and we know that scriptures, speak against magic, speak against sorcery and witches and witchcraft and so on and so forth. All right, and with this magical technology, because I believe it's going more into the aerospace world, all right, with their jets and these things that deal with the sky, being in the air. All right, we know that scriptures speak about Esau making war with Yahushai, trying to fight Yahushai when he returns. All right, and that's what they are developing these things for. So jumping right into it, during a recent earnings call, Lockheed Martin teased a magical classified aeronautics program that's going to be in very high demand once it's finished. All right, and aeronautics, right, you have that root word or prefix aero, all right, air, aerodynamics and so on and so forth. So again, dealing with jets and fighter jets and pretty much things dealing with the sky. But search this up here. Aeronautics is the science, art, and engineering discipline devoted to the study, design, and manufacturing of flight-capable machines. Right. So that involves drones and as it reads here, flight-capable. All right. That's pretty broad. As well as the techniques required to operate them within Earth's atmosphere. The term comes from Greek roots meaning air and navigator. Okay. Oh. And here it says magical, and that's them Esau boasting in their technology pretty much. And we know that the Lord has given Esau the ability to really to make these technological advancements, so that their pride would be lifted up and that they would try and fight against the Lord and ultimately be destroyed. The Lord has gave these devils this power, to put them on that pedestal and ultimately be destroyed. That's why scriptures say that the pride of thine heart has what? Deceived thee. Okay, it gave you a false sense of power, all right, a false sense of security, and you think that you truly have power, and the Lord is going to show you that you don't. But because of this technology, because of this magical, things that Esau was able to develop, they think that they got it, all right, and the Lord is coming to show them that they don't. But continuing here, Lockheed Martin teased a magical classified aeronautics program that's going to be in very high demand once it's finished. In the same call, they reported an 80% drop in second quarter profits, mostly due to this classified project. All right, so they are, putting heavy money into this. The Lockheed Martin CEO, James D. Taiclet, fielded questions about a pre-tax loss of $1.6 billion during the July 2020 July 22nd earnings call, Reuters reported. Alright, Salakia for the interruption. I got a spam call. Alright, Satan playing games. But continuing, the classified aeronautics program is to blame for much of the loss due to fixed contracts that were negotiated back in 2018. However, Takelit, if I'm pronouncing that right, projected that the demand for the secret project will more than outweigh the fixed price concerns. His full responses can be read in this earnings call transcript on Seeking Alpha, but we're not going to get that. The losses on the classified aeronautics program are significant, Takelit admitted, but he added the program's game-changing nature makes this worthwhile. This is a highly classified program that can only be described as game-changing capability for our joint U.S. and international customers, Takelit said, and therefore it is a critical, and this is what? Boasting, all right, pride in their power, all right, in their technology. And therefore, to say something is going to be game-changing, all right, that's pretty high hopes, pretty high expectations. It is critical that it be successfully fielded. We expect to continue to reduce risk over the next few years as we move through the key milestones of this very advanced system. And these devils, they like to throw out numbers, but what inside, all right, they know that they're really working as fast as they can, so they say next few years, but these devils really probably expect to have it done maybe within the next year. All right, that's Revelation 12 verse 12, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. We expect to continue to reduce risk over the next few years as we move through the key milestones of this very advanced system. Later in the call, okay, so you see very advanced system, and the Lord is going to, destroy it with an ease, all right, when he returns. Later in the call, Takelit said the magical classified aeronautics program was something that would be in high demand for many years in the future. All right, and this is very, very wishful thinking, because they don't have much time left. All right, America and Esau's empire is circling the drain. But again, we have this word magical. All right, it's going into sorceries and witchcraft, wizardry, and that's ultimately what Esau's technology is really about. Them trying to gain, power as the Most High. That's the nature of something of this magical status, I would call it. Right? Not too long ago, you had Elon Musk speaking about how their brain chip, all right, and certain implants can render, super Slakia Jesus level miracles, quote unquote. That's the nature of something of this magical status, I would call it, Takelit said. We probably won't be able to talk about what that is for many years to come, but I can assure you that it's going to be in high demand for a very long time, well beyond the fixed price commitments. During the call, Lockheed Martin representatives also spoke about a second MFC classified program, which they also described as game-changing. Lockheed Martin teases magical classified project that would be game-changing, first appeared on Men's Journal. Alright, so now hit the scriptures. I'm going to start here with the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter. Alright, going into Esau's pride, and as it reads here, lament for Babylon. Right, and we know that Babylon is prophetic for America, alright, the U.S. Why is it saying lament for Babylon? Well, because the Lord is coming to bring that ass whooping, man. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. All right. So before the Lord literally destroys America, he is going to have it pretty much, as we're reading here, strip it. All right. Show its wickedness, show its shame, pretty much bring it down. I was going to say morally, but it's already brought down morally. But, bring it down in a sense of spirit. All right. Scriptures say that the spirit of Egypt shall fail. The Lord is you're going to be able to, as the American citizens already see, all right, and as the world is seeing, you're going to be able to see that America doesn't have much time left. All right. Before the Lord actually takes it down. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance. I want to look into this word shame. Rapah, reproach, scorn, taunt. Reproach, resting upon condition of shame, disgrace, a reproach, an object. Right. I will take vengeance and will not meet thee as a man. Okay. And they think that their manly creations are going to stop this. Lord say he's not meeting them as a man. It's not going to do anything. Their technology, okay, is not compatible with Yahweh Shai and the Heavenly Father. It's like it's not going to do any effect. Okay, it's not going to have any effect because it's not at the level required. All right, and it never will be. Verse 4, as for our Redeemer, the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. All right, and Yahweh Shai and the Lord is only for his nation. Sit thou silent, and that's why when he returns, okay, those that he delivers, those that maintain salvation is only going to be Israelites, all right, on a certain remnant of Israel, the elect. Lord willing, we be of that number. Verse 5, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans. All right, and then we're reading Babylon, okay, which is prophetically America, in which we know that America is ran by Esau, Edom. Okay, because America is the face, all right, the spearhead of Esau's empire today, Esau's power structure today, and that's why the focus is on America's destruction. That's why Israel, okay, the main deliverance is what? Here in America. But at the destruction of America, the Lord is bringing down Esau's entire kingdom, all right, their entire empire, their entire, all of their rule. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms, in which we also read up here, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Let's grab this real quick. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. All right, and to raise something in this sense is to really do the opposite, to bring it down, to destroy it. O daughter of Babylon, all right, virgin daughter of Babylon, O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be. All right. Scriptures speak about the Lord's day of vengeance being in his heart, man, in his mind. When something is steadily on your mind, okay, you best believe when you finally get to enact whatever it is, when you finally get to achieve whatever it is, you're going to be happy, man. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. But just wanted to point out that connection of what? Esau, Edom, all right, the daughter of Babylon. Because this chapter is dealing with the fall of America and Esau, all right, not the ancient Babylonians. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hand. It's like thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke, and thou saidest, I will be a lady forever. All right, and that's what? That's that pride. Okay, Esau thinks that they're untouchable, man. Nothing is ever going to happen to the U.S. Okay, even the citizens don't ever see the U.S. falling, and proof of that. All right, even though this man didn't directly say it that we're going to live forever, but look at his rhetoric, showcasing, you know, that's what he thinks. How he's saying, bands here, we expect to continue to reduce risk over the next few years. All right, who said y'all had a few years left? You know, it was something else he said here. But I can assure you that it's going to be in high demand for a very long time. Who said you devils had a very long time? But you know, their mindset is that they're not falling anytime soon. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things too hard. All right, they're not dwelling on what it is that they did. Okay, their past. Esau's not thinking about how they did Israel. They trying to get over it. Okay, you see videos where white people are saying, oh, how long do y'all want us to feel bad? I'm tired of feeling bad for what our ancestors did to y'all. You know, I was born in wherever, that wasn't even me whole time, right? If they knew scripture, they know that it was them in the past life. All right, but that's Esau. You know, they're in that mindset of thinking that they're not going to pay for what they did. It's not even on their mind. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy hearts. Neither didst, in which that word heart, I believe it should be labab or lab, and then it goes into your mind, your soul, your spirit, right, in the Hebrew. Here it has lab, inner man, mind, will, heart, understanding. Neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, thou art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. All right, so I'm going to stand at the top. Nothing's going to happen to me. All right, you know, my kingdom is not going to be destroyed. My subjects, my citizens aren't going to be exiled or anything. All right, pretty much thinking that they're untouchable, like we said. And that's the pride, you know, that the spirit of pride that the Lord has put on America, that the Lord has put on Esau. All right, because that spirit of pride is deceiving them. All right, let's grab this. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 8. Pride goeth before destruction. All right, we just read how the Lord is going to destroy Babylon, and all haughty and in haughty spirit before a fall. And what the Lord has done is made America the most proud place on the planet. All right, and had Esau become the most proud people on the planet. So, you know, multiply that. All right, the pride is at an all-time high, and you got to think of it, because your average citizen around the world is proud. So how much more the most proud? pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. All right, this is scripture. This is words. So the Lord made Esau proud before he destroyed him, or before he is going to destroy him. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that says in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me, I shall sit as a widow. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection. Ooh, for the multitude of thy sorceries. All right, magical, this magical program, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Again, man, sorceries and witchcraft. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. So trusted in thy wickedness. That's that false sense of security. All right, that comes with that pride. That's why, as it also reads, let's grab the book of Obadiah, the first chapter. We can start at the top. It's the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 1. Edom will be humbled. All right, the nation of Esau and America, because that humbling is going to come by destruction of America and the Lord taking these devils out of power. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Awashai concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and again, being humbled implies what? That they're proud. And an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Right? The Lord is going to put the spirit on pretty much these other nations to come up against America and aid in its destruction, i.e. launching missiles. All right, let's grab the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. These 10 horns is dealing with the EU today, America's allies. These shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate. And that whore, all right, that whore, Salakia, that whore is America. All right, America, and dealing with this beast, which is pretty much the power structure of Esau, Edom. All right, America, NATO, and the EU today. America is likened unto the whore that rideth on top of the beast. Why? Because as we said, America is that face. All right, is that head, is the heart. These shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So as well with America's allies, the Lord is going to have, these other nations, enemy nations, launch their missiles as well. That's why it said that an ambassador is sent among the heathen. The Lord is going to put that spirit upon, these other nations. Let's also grab the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and get to verse 9. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 29, Salakia. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. All right, so all of you that have what? Those nuclear capabilities, all right, have those missiles. Camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done, do unto her. For she hath been proud against the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Awashai, against the Holy One of Israel. And it reads here that let none thereof escape. And as we read in Isaiah the 47th chapter, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection. All right, none escaping. The Lord is not going to miss a beat when it comes to destroying America and bringing down Esau's kingdom. And as we read in Revelation the 17th chapter, all right, her allies are going to aid in that. And why is that? All right, when you read up here, be a lady forever. Let her end. Here, where it says, where Babylon, all right, her, she, this lady, this whore. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am none, I am, and none else beside me. All right, so that's even, dissing their allies as well. Just me. All right, just America. We are, we are the power of the world. All right, they even pretty much they are the bully, okay, the of their own group, so to speak. And that's also why it says here, because again, going into that pride, that they were going to, boast themselves against their own allies as well. It's the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, and that other which came up, the little horn, is speaking about America. And before whom 3 fell, this 3 fell is going into the British, the Spanish, and the French. And you had the 3 wars. You had the Spanish-American War, I believe that's what it was called, the French and Indian War, the French and American War, and you also had the I want to say Revolutionary War. Yeah, Revolutionary War, War of Independence. Okay, but the point I want to get is a little further down. Even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things. Pride. Right? When you speak very great things, okay, you boast yourself above what you really are. That's pride. Or pride causes you to do that. Whose look was more stout than his fellows. All right, so they regarded their own allies as nothing to them. I want to get this in the NLT. I also asked about the 10 horns of the 4th beast's head, and the little horn that came up afterward and destroyed 3 of the other horns. This horn had seemed greater than the others, and it had human eyes and a mouth that was boasting arrogantly. So going back to here, or as we read in Revelation the 17th chapter, that's why you see that divide happening between the U.S. and NATO. All right, the U.S. and the EU. The U.S. and its supposed allies, man. That's not happening for no reason. Continuing here, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. So again, re-emphasizing it, putting that emphasis on what exactly? Okay, their pride. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. All right, and the Lord is coming to bring that destruction. And when he does, what are these devils going to try to do? All right, they're going to try and stop him. They're going to try and fight back against Yahweh Shai, man. And that's why it says here, verse 12, stand now with thine enchantments. All right, this magical classified aeronautics program. All right, so that means they got magical, pretty much air technology, for lack of better words. All right, the things that they're able to do with whatever it is they have, whether it be a jet, a drone, a chopper, or whatever. All right, a certain type of missile, something. They liken it unto what? Magical. Okay, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein hast thou labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail. So really the Lord is marking him. Hey, you might want to bring out your best weapon, right? I want to get this in the NLT. Now use your magical charms. Use the spells you have worked at all these years. Maybe they will do you some good. Maybe they can make someone afraid of you. All right, because the Lord sure as hell is not. You know, but that's why scriptures, it said what, as we read in Obadiah, the first chapter. Well, did we even finish reading that? We can finish reading it right now. That, but as it's going to say, right, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee, as we keep bringing up. But I have made thee, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's pride, right? Who is going to destroy us? Who is going to stop us? Thou that exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, all right, exalting yourself as the eagle. Well, the eagle is a certain, well, the eagle in general, but really a specific type of eagle. That is the most fiercest and strongest bird out there. All right, most high flying as well. You know, and that height is another representation of something, you know, pretty much pride, you know, being boastful, being haughty, lofty. All right. And it also says here, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. All right. So again, among the stars is what? That's way into the heavens. So again, going into that height and that pride, but also how you have Esau and their space stations. All right, certain satellites and the things that they do up there in the heavens, right, up there in space, you know, in means of, you know, perfecting and growing their technology and their power. I remember not too long ago where these devils were talking about a fucking replacing something on the moon. Right, it was like a generator or a power generator, something along those lines on the moon. Right, the hell could we need that for? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Right, so the Lord is going to bring these devils down. But point being here, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee, and made you think that you are more powerful than you really are. And that's exactly what the Lord wanted. So that when he brings you down, you see just how powerless you truly were. You know, that's pretty much a mind game that the Lord is playing on these devils. Because when you expect to lose and you lose, it doesn't really affect you that much. You knew it was coming. But when you for sure think you're going to win, and you fucking lose, it hit 10 times worse, you know, and then you lose bad on top of that. It hit 20,000 times worse. And that's what the Lord is coming to, you know, hit Esau with. A slap of reality, man. But as we're reading here, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries. Well, that's exactly what they're going to do. You know, with this magical aeronautics program and whatever things they have a part of that, what do you think they're going to use this for? Use this on? All right, they're going to try and fight Yahweh Shai when he returns. Let's grab that as the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels, and this is not literally talking about heaven, the spiritual, you know, realm, heaven, but Esau's heaven, all right, and the skies. But I'll get into that. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon is dealing with the pagan Roman Empire, in which the pagan Roman Empire is the power structure of Esau Edom today. All right, the current beast system, the current power structure, America, NATO, and the EU. against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. All right, and this is going into pretty much Esau's military. All right, and really referring to, because as it says in the heavens, all right, up in the skies, what? These niggas. All right, the ones in the jets, the ones who are going to be up there in the heavens, literally trying to fight against the Lord in their jets, you know, with their drones and whatever they have. But as we read here, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. So the Lord is going to literally cast these devils out of the skies, but also, all right, dealing with that word heaven, Esau's heaven is also likened unto the power that they have over the world, the rulership, their kingdom. All right, the Lord is coming to take these devils out of power as well, man. You know, and them being taken out of power, you know, encompasses them literally being brought down. All right, literally fighting and being destroyed. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Right, you can read that in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. How the Lord, you know, and the armies gathered over there in World War III, try to fight the Lord when he returns. But it says here, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. Right, this is dealing with Esau, Edom. Let's grab the book of 2nd Thessalonians, because it's not literally speaking about the spiritual demon Satan, but those who are, you know, pretty much his physical counterpart on the earth. It's the book of 2nd Thessalonians, chapter 2. We can start at verse 3. And it reads, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day. And funny enough, right, as we just read in Revelation, the 12th chapter, that Esau was going to deceive people. Which deceiveth the whole world. All right, now at one point, he did have the elect deceived, but that's going to change. The Lord, once they wake up, you know, and come back to the truth, they're not going to be led astray from the truth, which is what that word deceive goes into, to be led astray. So, where were we? Damn, where did I just go? Damn. Where did I just go? My brain's like completely. Well, let's do this. Second Thessalonians, right? 2nd Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That man of sin, right, the son of perdition. Perdition goes into the destruction. Is Esau, Edom, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. All right, and with the advancements in their technology, these devils have taken this, you know, steps further. All right, Salakia for the interruption, but continuing where I left off. Verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. All right, and that's also going into Esau's pride. All right, and especially with the development of their technology, they now boast themselves against the Heavenly Father to higher lengths. Because now they think that, okay, we actually have power now. All right. Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things? And now you know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in this time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. and then shall that wicked be revealed. All right, so it was through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Shai, all right, that Esau back then was not known to be the mystery of iniquity, to be the the ruler of the world, to be the son of perdition just yet, right? But in our time, that's when the Lord revealed who the wicked truly was, all right, in the time of the end. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Shai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy, in which that is a Lord lowercase. It's really dealing with Yahweh Shai. Shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, right? Which is what we're going into. Verse 9, which was the point I wanted to get, tying back into Revelation, the 12th chapter. Even him who was coming is after the working of Satan. All right, so not literally the spiritual demon Satan himself, 1044, call Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, but those who come after his working come in the spirit, those who ultimately worship Satan, right? Even him who's coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Going into that love of the truth, the elect receive the love of the truth, and that's why, as we mentioned, right, they weren't deceived, all right, in the end. Okay, they woke up out of the deception Esau had cast over the earth and never went back. Woke up out of sleep and never went back. But going back to Isaiah, the 47th chapter, close it out. Okay, it's 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. All right, in which that's a mock, because they're not. All right, and as we also read Proverbs 16:18, that pride goeth before a fall. All right, and that's the spirit that the Lord has Esau Edom in, has America in. So you can rest assured that that fall is coming soon. All right, the Lord has them in the spirit, because you know how it is, right? Let's say, for example, I'll just use basketball, right? Y'all playing king of the court or whatever, one-on-ones, and you're just beating everybody. All right, you get lifted up to the point that you just you have that spirit of, damn, I can't be messed with, right? I can't be touched. Who can beat me? All right, and that's the spirit that the Lord has on Esau Edom, to think that they're untouchable. All right, but they will be touched. Okay, let's grab that, the book of Jeremiah chapter 49, because we were touched, so they got to be touched too. And by touched, I mean the Lord's got to bring that judgment. It's the book of Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 12. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And that was who? Us, Israel, man. Because we were meant to be the holy people and the righteous people, but we turned away from that. All right, and therefore we had to taste that cup of judgment. And art thou he that shall slack it, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? All right, so will you go untouched? Thou shalt not go unpunished, thou shalt not go untouched, but thou shalt surely drink of it. All right, and in fact, Esau, you're going to drink the most of it, man. For I have sworn by myself, said the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Shai, that Basra, a code name for America, shall become a desolate, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Shai, an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. Right, we went into this in Obadiah, I believe it was Obadiah, but that spirit that the Lord is going to put upon these other nations to be against America, and to ultimately aid in her destruction by through missiles. That's going to be their part, whereas the Lord and the angels, all right, they're going to bring their fire by their chariots. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee. There it goes again. All right, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, giving them that false sense of power, false sense of security. And that's why, as we also read in Isaiah the 47th chapter, that the destruction the judgment will come upon them suddenly because they're not expecting it. All right, you know, that pride. Who again? Who can touch us, man? I will never go down. Again, when you expect to lose and you lose, it doesn't hurt as much. When you don't expect to lose and you lose very bad, that's when it hurts. That's a life-changing moment right there. In Esau's case, it's going to be a life-ending, all right, kingdom-ending moment. O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Abishai. Again, going into that pride, but also, you know, the space stations, all right, because the nest pretty much goes into like in a quarters, right? There's another word, dwelling place, right? I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Abishai. Again, as we're going into the article, that's pretty much what it's focused on. The miracles, you know, the quote unquote miracles, and pretty much the power that these devils have achieved with their aeronautics. And Edom shall be a desolation, America. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. So you see how Edom is or America is used in place for Edom, because America, or Edom is used in place instead of like Babylon, because America is, you know, that face of Esau Edom today. All right, because the land of Edom would be America today. But finishing off, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come up upon thee, in which those are all people who dive into witchcraft. And you know, and today that would be likened unto, and today they still have these type of people, but also your scientists, right? Your engineers, so on and so forth. Behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them. All right, that fire from the missiles and the lasers from the chariots of Yahushua and the angels. The fire shall burn them, they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander everyone to his quarter, none shall save thee. All right, and it's wandering to everyone at his quarter. You know what it always makes me think of is when let's say there's about to be a fight, right, and you're rooting for someone and you got other people rooting for someone, and then the person you're rooting for starts to get their ass beat, and then you just walk away like, oh, you didn't even know him, right? Maybe that was your best friend or something, or whatever. All right, maybe let's say a girl, right, and her boyfriend gets into a fight and he starts getting beat up, and now she's looking in the face, looking around, walking away like she didn't even know buddy. You know, that's what this is basically painting a picture of. They shall wander everyone to his quarter, none shall save thee. All right, no one, these merchants, which are the nations, you know, trade nations, you know, with America, which is almost all the world. You know, China is a heavy one. But yeah, they're going to, you know, weep at America's destruction. All right, and they're going to be in awe at America's destruction, because the whole world is going to know. And none shall save thee. All right, and there ain't gonna be anything they can do. But I'll leave it off there. Lord willing, this video was edifying or informative in some way, shape, or form. And once more, I would like to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect.